Right then, with Erik ten Hag's move to become Manchester United's manager being all but done, focus now switches over to looking at his staff, analysing what they're going to bring to the table and who might be coming along with him. His number two is going to be a very, very important figure, and number two is a very vital figure for any manager to come in. That is their private confidant, someone that's on their side rather than maybe on the club side, someone that's employed almost directly by them guys to be their little bouncing of ideas and their go-to. There's been legitimate links to other candidates to be part of his coaching staff. Steve McLaren has been mentioned, Rennie Mullenstein has been mentioned, and Laurie Whittle's just reported that his current assistant, Mitchell van der Gaag, wants the role at Old Trafford. Mitchell van der Gaag was born in October 1971 in Zutphen in the Netherlands, and his playing career was, well, it was 18 years long. And it included being a centre-back at a number of different clubs, including PSG, Motherwell, Utrecht, and Club Sport Maritimo. Motherwell fans kind of have him as a bit of a cult hero after he scored an equalising goal against Dunfermline in 96-97 to keep Motherwell in the Scottish Premier League. He also played 4 times for the Netherlands under-21s. And in 2007, Van der Gaag called it a day, finishing his career with 431 appearances and 50 goals, which ain't bad, really, for a centre-half. His coaching career then started, as many do, being a first-team coach rather than just jumping in straight as a number two. A year after retiring, he returned to Maritimo as a coach, taking over the Portuguese side's B team. It only took him 1 season to impress, and he was rewarded by getting the first-team manager job in 2009. And he started in October that season. Previous manager was sacked, and he salvaged the campaign by finishing 5th. Subsequently getting Europa League qualification, and he was awarded with a 1-year contract for the following season. And then he was sacked in September. He got 1 point in 4 games, lost his Europa League qualifier to FC Bata Borisov, and they got rid of him. After that, he had another spell in Portugal with Belenenses, taking them to the Portuguese top flight. He then took over Emirates in Cyprus before returning to his homeland, where he's been ever since. Van der Gaag worked as a manager for Excelsior and NAC Brada before being appointed as Ajax reserve coach in 2019. Ten Hag then promoted him to be his assistant manager last summer, and it's seemingly been a very important part of the coaching staff since then, and he's masterminded, this season at least, an extremely fantastic season. Top of the league, plus 70 goal difference, and obviously they've got the Dutch Cup final this Sunday. Philosophy-wise, according to Van der Gaag, in an interview that he had with the Ajax website, he says, "We want to dominate for long periods of the game and be dominant. We have to constantly pay attention to the field occupation, runs in depth and occupation in front of goal. The players like to have the ball at their feet, so we have to constantly pay attention there and impose." In summary, if Ten Hag wants him and this guy wants to come along, why would you break up what's been a successful partnership? Whatever his own philosophy is, it does seem to align very well with that of Erik ten Hag's. And I like what he mentioned there about dominating the runs in depth, off the ball movement. When you look at this Ajax side, one of the things that strikes me is the movement ahead of the ball. And one thing that I look at Manchester United this season is the lack of movement ahead of the ball. So many times, and this kind of harks back a little bit to Van Gaal, really. We started to see this properly under Van Gaal. Ollie introduced a little bit more movement, but it seems to have lapsed again. Maybe it's something that they constantly need to reiterate in training. But it was also something that we saw under Sir Alex Ferguson. Off-the-ball movement, options. As soon as certain key playmaking players get on the ball, you just start moving. When Paul Scholes gets on the ball, just move. He'll find you. And right now I see a lot of people at Manchester United standing still, staring at the ball. And I don't see people making movement for the sake of it, and I don't see people making movement to draw the eye. I don't see people making movement to double up on somebody. I don't see someone looking to occupy 2 wingers in one side. I don't see people looking to make those in-behind runs that just distract. Off-the-ball movement is massive, and off-the-ball movement for me is why Manchester United have been so poor this season. And I think Cristiano Ronaldo has got a little bit of a blame to take for that. I also think the midfield is incapable of finding him every single time he makes those runs. But that's what it is. So who is Mitchell van der Gaag? Well, right now, he is Erik ten Hag's number 2 and seemingly wants to come and be the number 2. And I like the fact that he's got British experience and is a bit of a cult figure at Motherwell. I think that could go down quite well for him. But the most important thing is if Ten Hag wants him. If Ten Hag wants him, then that's a positive thing for him to come along with. So I guess we're going to find out exactly what Mitchell is all about. Let me know in the comments below, who else do you think is going to be coming as part of his team, and who would you like to see come in and be part of his team? For me, I'd be extremely happy if I saw Rennie Mullenstein back at Carrington coaching Manchester United, and I'd be pretty intrigued to see what Robin van Persie could bring to the table, although there's some talk that he wouldn't qualify for a work permit because of his qualifications. Outside of that, Paul Mitchell's the one I would like to see working alongside Ralph Rangnick to build Manchester United to be a footballing powerhouse again. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.